Hello, welcome back to another video. Here we are at Roaring Camp again with our annual steam up there. This year we are there over 4th of July weekend. Richard's Mason Bogey started out the day and made several laps. This is a really good running and beautiful looking little engine. Next we had John and his beautiful South Pacific Coast 440. South Pacific Coast is basically the home railroad as the beach train follows the South Pacific Coast line down to Santa Cruz. He also has the appropriate duck-billed coaches, and here are all the two locomotive, beautiful 1880s technology racing down the track. Here's a relatively new member, C18, coming around. Here's my son's coal-fired Forney making an early morning pass. And again, here's the C16, and they ran together for a while. You can see the difference in size between the F-scale train and the 7/8 scale train. As our trains got bigger, well, Roaring Camp's power decided to show up. Here's Heisler number 2, former West Side number 3, backing down to go pick up its train in the siding that's behind the depot. This locomotive was out all day pulling trains. It was quite the treat seeing both a Shea and a Heisler pull their trains over the day. One of the fun things is the Roaring Camp crews were switching and pulling it out of the station. We got wonderful sound effects to the back of the video that we didn't even have to try to put in. Soon after the Heisler came by, here comes the second train.
I'll trade with you.
Shea, which is actually number 1. The conductor on the back was also a live steamer, and we were talking about trading positions between him running trains and one of us working on the train. Kind of fun. And here's Steve's Ruby running around with a nice wood load. After the Shea train made a safety stop outside the station, it continued to back down. And at the point we see Shea number 1, Roaring Camp number 1, the Dixiana, which is their main locomotive that they use. Beautiful little 3-cylinder, 2-truck Shea. Everybody got lined up for pictures. And after the passengers loaded up, off they went to go up the hill. It's always fun watching these engines start to work. Roaring Camp doesn't currently have a climax working. They do have one down in the yard, so Bob Trabucco was kind enough to lend his to the action with a beautiful little train. You can hear the Shea and the Heisler in the background performing sound effects, and then here's the Heisler pulling up to the station to load. And our friend Phil Reeder working, and off they go up the hill.
Oh yeah, it's a difference when you get together with the Heisler.
Come back soon. I hope you get a ride back.
The Heisler again performing perfect sound effects. Here we have Bill's homemade DeWinton and Chris's 13-ton AccuCraft Shay. This is its second or third outing. Good rear runner. Here the South Pacific Coast 440 returns, this time with a freight train. A big event of the day was Rob running the brand new AccuCraft coal-fired C18 prototype. This was its first steam up after coming over. This engine ran quite well. Rob knows how to run coal quite well, and there was a couple of little bugs that they worked through, so hopefully by the time the production hits, these will have the great running engines, and then Richard's little Cricket.
I do have a few restrictions on my height.
Sounds pretty well other than that.
Watch yourself. Train coming. Train coming.
Is that 10?
That's lap 10, yes. Lap 10 for the Cricket.
New.
Soon after lap 10 ended for the Cricket, I got my 13-ton AccuCraft Shay out and ran it with the disconnects and a skeleton log car.
You need a spring stretcher.
And just as Bob is pulling out with his climax, here comes train number 1 with Dixie coming back in to change out passengers. This is a very busy place at times. Then on the inside track, here comes that cold C18 running around still. After the Shay left, here comes Heisler number 2, and it just changed out passenger. Now it's heading back up the hill for its second and third run of the day. And after the end of the day, the Heisler put her train back in the siding. Now she's heading back to the engine hospital. Here's some various shots throughout the day. Starting in the morning, we were just setting up and Richard firing his beautiful Mason bogey. And the sun goes on and things happening. Various creatures out on the layout. Rob firing up the prototype AccuCraft Coal C18, and of course there's some videos of it earlier running. All in all, it was a great day. And later, my son and I got a roundhouse tour from our friend Phil Reeder, who took us to meet Kuuku, where Iuki got to meet herself. Also, Shay number 7's going back together, and we got to see a lot of progress on that, which is very exciting. This is a fun engine. And you see Builder's Plate coming back on, and then we see Kuuku again. The engines. and the official t-shirt. Thanks for watching.